Hi everyone, welcome to Hedgehog Hollow and welcome to our second video using the foil quill. So we do have a couple of other videos already on the channel, so go and check those out too. We did our first video which was all about getting started with the We Are Memory Keepers foil quill. So if you haven't seen it already, it comes in 3 different tips. There's a fine tip, a regular tip which we're using today, and there's a bold tip. So We Are Memory Keepers sent me the fine tip, which is what we used in video number 1. You can check that out in the top right hand corner, and I showed you how to use it in the Cricut, how to use it in the scan and cut. It also works in the Silhouette Cameos, it works in any of the Cricut machines, it works in scan and cut, and it works in the Sizzix Eclipse. And we kind of did a getting started using it on cardstock, making your first foil quill project, all those kinds of things. You can check that out. And then the other day I did a live video about working with your foil quill. We did some kind of Q&A sessions, and we foiled the Hedgehog Hollow logo, which was great fun. So you can check that out also in the top right hand corner. Now, if you're not familiar with electronic cutting machines, or you've been on the fence, maybe you're thinking, well, do I buy a Cricut? Do I buy a Silhouette Cameo? Do I buy a scan and cut? Now, I didn't review the Sizzix Eclipse because it's not a machine I'm particularly familiar with. It's not really one of kind of the mainstream machines, but I do like that We Are Memory Keepers thought of including people who have one. I did a comparison video of which one to buy. Now, my opinion is the Silhouette Cameo 3 was not a great machine. I loved my 2. I had one for a long time. When I upgraded to the 3, I actually had it for a few weeks and I gave it away. For me, it's between the Scan and Cut or the Cricut Maker if you're looking to invest. And I did a video comparing and my reasons for not buying a Cameo 3. And again, you can check that out in the top right hand corner of which electronic cutting machine to buy. And I'll link all the different machines again in the video description for this video, so you can find some links down there too. But today we're going to be foiling on leather. So it's kind of a bit more of an advanced foil quill video, but I've got everything set up here ready to go. I'm going to show you some top tips for working with the foil quill and some of the things I've learnt along the way. So here I have my Cricut mat. I'm using the fabric grip mat with my leather. You can kind of use whichever one you like, but I find the fabric grip mat works nicely. This is the genuine leather in Cranberry, and I had some scraps left over, which is what I'm using up here. So I already have my piece ready to go, one of them already taped down with my foil on top here, and then I have another scrap and we're going to tape down our foil over here. So I'm going to grab a piece of the foil. I already have the tape that you can get from We Are Memory Keepers. You can use any masking tape or washi tape. This is the tape that they sell. Again, all the links will be in your video description. You want the foil to be a little bit taut. One thing I've learnt with the leather is you don't want it to be too taut. And you also, I found if I used the fine tip, it didn't work as well as using the standard or the bold tip. Only on the leather. If you work on paper or anything else, fine. But the leather seems to prefer the standard or bold tips. So when I put it down, I put one piece of tape down and then I pull slightly on the other side. And then I put another piece of tape down. And then when I put my second piece down, I do it slightly at an angle. So I grab my tape like this, and then I kind of just pull just a little bit, just to give me a little bit of tautness. And what you want to make sure is your foil quill area is within the untaped area. If you do your foil quill over the tape, you're not going to foil. The heat cannot get through the tape. So you want to make sure it's just on the foil, and you want the color piece of the foil to be the right way up. So I'm just going to unlock my iPad here and get going in my Cricut app. So I have set up, and you can see this on your screen, I've set up 2 earrings. We're going to be making these leather earrings, so I'm going to hit the Make It button, and I'm going to replace what was on my mat, so you can see that there. Now this is something I love about the Cricut feature, is I'm going to use that snap mat. So what that means is I can now stand up, and I am little, so I want to make sure I go up high enough. In a second, you'll see it snap into position. You saw there on my screen. One thing you do want to make sure is that your hang tag is at the top here. So that's where you line that up. So now what I can do is I can use that, and I can then touch my earrings, and you can see here how I'm dragging them into this area. Actually, I think I can fit them both on one scrap, which would be really nice. So you can see there how I can move them around and work out what works best. So we're going to hit that continue button, and we'll connect to a nearby device. My Cricut is on, so it will find it. There we go. And now I can pop it in this nice little groove. Something else I really like is the fact it fits in this groove here. And so it will connect up for us. Everything with the Cricut Maker is wireless. Now, if you use an iPad or a tablet, you do lose a couple of things in the app, but nothing that I've ever found to be a major issue. You can use computers and all those kinds of things, but overall, I love working with the iPad app. I find it so easy to use, and I love the fact that I can use it in classes on the go and things. I'm telling it that I'm using leather. Now, the reason it will also tell you is if you're using leather, these little star pieces over here are usually all the way along your rollers. But when you're using leather, you're going to push them to one side because otherwise you end up with those little grooves all over your leather, and you don't want that because it's a soft material. So this is your foil quill. And I've preheated mine. It takes about 5 minutes to heat up, and I have my C adapter, my C for Cricut. When you get your quill, you get 4 adapters. You have your A, which I think is the silhouette, B for brother, C for Cricut, and D is your silhouette. And they just screw on. They're really easy to change out. And then the light means that it's on, and I have mine plugged into an external battery port. I like doing it this way because I can put my cable wherever I want it. And this one is great. It has a really high capacity, and of course it's pink, pretty, and it has a little illustration on it. I'll link this one up in the video description for you. I got it on Amazon, but I'll link that up. And it goes into your A port if you have the Cricut Maker. Your A port normally has this little piece in it, which you'll have to remove. And the easiest way is to just, if you kind of open this a little bit further, you can just easily pop it out of there. And then you're going to pop this into here like this and close it up. Your foil quill also comes with this little metal piece, and that is designed that while you're getting everything ready in your machine, you can pop it under there and no excess heat goes on to the bottom of your machine. But we're ready to go, so I don't need to pop that in for now. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our mat, we're going to line it up, and we're going to insert it into our machine. I'm going to make sure my cable is out the way. Again, another reason that I like having the external battery port is I can put my cable anywhere. You can USB it directly into the machine, but my preference is to do it this way. We're going to press our C button, which means it's going to go, and now it's going to start foiling. So now our image is done, we can remove it from our machine. So this is always the exciting part, and you can kind of see where it's already embossed everything, and everything's already cool, so you're ready to go as soon as it's done. As I say, you need to leave your foil quill about 5 minutes before you start, and when you're done, you're going to just insert this little piece in, or I'm just going to quickly clip out my foil quill, and I have a little glass jar next to me. It's not that hot, I can pick it up, I can touch it with my hands. Just be obviously standard cautions and things. So I'm going to peel off my tape, and the piece of foil that I had up here I will just save. It can just go into my scraps for afters, so it's not going to be wasted at all. So you can reuse the foil, and I can reuse all of these little pieces around, again just using that snap mat feature on my Cricut, which I love. And I'm trying not to peel it off because I want to have that kind of fab moment afterwards. So I'm just holding this down. And you can use the genuine leather or you can use the faux leather that Cricut do. So let's get all of that off. So are we ready? So now we're going to peel this back. Isn't that amazing? So we have foiled our own leather design. So you can see all of that amazing detail in there. And you can see where it's left it behind on our foil too. So that's kind of your leftover designs in the foil. So now we're going to pick this up off of our mat. I'll just grab my spatula here to help me lift it up. And this is, I use the Fabri-Tac mat. That's my preference. You could use the standard grip mat too. That also works with your leather. And just put that to the side. And then you have a few different options to cut this. So you could use a rotary cutter, or I'm just going to use my big Tim Holtz scissors here. So I'm going to do just a rough cut, and then I'm going to neaten them up in a second. So I'm going to leave myself a little bit of space. And I have to say, I do keep all of my excess when it comes to the leather, just because it is a little bit more pricey to work with. So what I'm doing is, because these have a longer blade on them, I can snip straight from one piece to the next. So I'm just matching up the corners and cutting out my diamond shaped earrings. I think these are going to look so cool. They also do some really cool metallic leathers rather. So I'm just kind of doing a fussy cut, I guess you would call it, around the edge of my foil. And these are a really nice super sharp. Of course, we also have those new Tim Holtz haberdashery scissors. They would be great for this too. I just happen to have these to hand. I'll do one more trim up here. So that's one of my earrings. And I'm going to do the same on the other one. And this is really completely permanent. I tried one of these out as a test piece the other day, and it was really hard to remove that foiling off of the leather. So you could foil notebook covers, maybe for a wedding. You could foil a custom monogram for someone and make them a nice kind of wedding book. Wouldn't that be a fun idea? You could do things for rooms, you could do jewelry. There are just so many things you could do with this foil quill, and you can foil onto everything. As I was saying the other day, you could foil your own scrapbook papers, you can foil regular paper, you can foil fabric, you could do maybe a quilt label on the back. Just so many different things you can do with foiling, and it just adds that extra kind of luxury to things. So I'm just cutting out my second one here. So you can see there's my second one. And this was a Disney image that I purchased from Cricut. And then what I did do when I was in Joann's the other day, I grabbed these jewellery hoop backers for earrings. So I'm going to grab two out of here. I don't want them to explode everywhere on me. I'm trying to open these up carefully. So what I'm going to end up doing is, if I grab my craft pick, which is on the other side of my table over here, so I can take this and I'm going to put a hole in here. Possibly a crocodile would be a really good tool if you have one. Also, your craft pick is perfect. And then you can just thread through your earring piece. I may have put this one on the wrong way around. We'll see. So you can see there, we've created our own. This one's on the wrong way around, but I'll rethread it afterwards. You can see I'm going to have my own custom red earrings. How cool are they going to look? All custom foiled. Of course, you can make them in any size, on any color of leather. So many different options. I think it's such a fab idea. So thank you so much for joining me for this advanced foil quill tutorial. I hope you've enjoyed seeing different things you can do with the foil quill. As I say, check out those two other videos we did with the foil quill as well. So many different ideas, and we'll be using the foil quill lots more here on the channel. All All your links are in the video description. I've linked up tons of stores for you, tons of different options. As I say, you can buy the 3 tips individually, you can buy them as a kit with all 3. I'll link up all the different machine options, which I think is fab, that you can use in any of your electronic cutting machines. And if you're on the fence as to which machine to buy, we have that video for you as well, so you can check out which machine might be best for your craft room. So thank you so much for joining me here at the Hedgehog Hollow. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications. And if you didn't know, you can also become a Hedgehog Hollow channel perks member. Well, there are so many advantages. Check out the join button next to the subscribe button or the link in the video description. There are tons of reasons to join, including a massive amount of savings, 10% off your favorite stores, free shipping, $5 off an order, birthday cards from the Prickle, and so many more reasons. So don't forget to hit that join button and save every single day on all of your crafty purchases at your favorite stores, and give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed today's video. I will see you again tomorrow for another fun tutorial. See you again soon. Happy stamping, everyone. Bye.